Hello and welcome, David Judge here. And in my last video, I spoke to you guys about the top tools you can use to stay in touch with your VA. Now in today's short video, I'm going to take it to the next level. And I'm going to go through and discuss how do I make sure my VA is performing. Now, if you haven't had a VA before, I still want you to keep watching this video as you're going to gain valuable insights and a couple of do's and don'ts around outsourcing from a person that's done a little bit before, okay? Okay, so when we ask the question, how are they performing? You can actually interpret this in so many different ways, and in my experience, this comes down to two totally different extremes. Now, on the one extreme is because you're outsourcing and you want to make sure that you're taking good care and upskilling your people because you have good quality people. Now, this is how I work. This is how I work with my team when I'm managing myself or when I'm managing them for other clients. Now, on the other extreme, and this is the more common one I come across, is because you're not totally confident that your VA is getting the jobs done that you're assigning, and the whole promise of getting an outsourcer isn't all it's cracked up to be. You're thinking, this isn't freeing up my lifestyle, this is doing the opposite, this is making it more stressful for me, this is actually costing me more time than freeing up my time. Okay, so let's delve really deep into how we can make sure that your outsourcer is getting the work done, and more importantly, how you can measure their performance. So first things first, when you're actually looking at outsourcing, you need to make sure you first of all invest a little bit of time in understanding the tasks you would like them to perform. Now, I've actually talked about this in a previous video where I cover in detail how to identify what your VA can do for you, and make sure you check out my website because I go through that in an individual post. Now, in all honesty, this is a critical step that helps you establish the foundation for your entire relationship and to make sure you're getting total value from the outset. So make sure you invest that little bit of time laying out those foundational tasks at the very beginning. Okay, second issue, they don't actually lay out the expectations. Now, what's really funny is when I'm approached by people that already have a VA and they ask me to help them bring them into line, because you know, they say, oh, you've got a good thing going on there, Dave, can you help me out? You know what? They haven't laid out the expectations. Now, there are a couple of common issues that occur here. The first is they don't have an NDA agreement, so they don't have a non-disclosure agreement, so they're not protected. The second is they don't have a start or finish time, or they have them working on what's called flexi time. Now, I rarely work under this model because I find people work best under a structure. The third is they make friends. Now, this allows room for the outsourcer to take advantage of you. Now, this isn't just an outsourcing thing. This happens in business. If you go and you make friends, if you're a boss, if you call it, you make friends, it can go pear-shaped. And this is another reason why we actually manage our VAs for clients. The fourth is they don't ask the tough questions. Now, I actually want to know any reasons that I may have issues down the line, so I ask every single question. And for me and my clients that outsource to us overseas, I actually want to make sure that I have that peace of mind at the very beginning. And the fifth is that you don't actually make clear that they can't work with other clients or they can't stuff around when they're on my coin. So in other words, as my dad used to say, when you're under my house, under my roof, it's the same deal. When you're actually when the person's working for you and you're paying them, they work for me only. I want 110% focus on me. Now, the reason I actually follow this model now is in the beginning, I made these exact mistakes and I've paid for them every single time. Now, I'm not a total dictator, as my team needs to own their roles and they need to grow, but I do keep these simple foundational rules in place. Okay, so next, I break my team's tasks into weekly buckets. So if I'm wanting to make sure that they're getting the task done, I can actually break them into weekly buckets, and I have a supervisor. All of our clients have supervisors that oversee each VA for me to make sure that they're actually doing those tasks. Now, this helps to keep my team members on track if they have things broken into weekly buckets, and it also highlights important tasks that they need to get done that week, and it gives them a worksheet to refer to when you're too busy. And I'm telling you now, when you're too busy and you're handling stuff, you want to make sure that you have that peace of mind in the back of your head that your VA or your outsourcer is ticking away being productive while you're handling the stuff that you need to handle. Now, the last point is you have to watch their performance and track their results. Now, I always mention to my VAs at the very beginning that we're watching their performance, and I offer feedback on their performance. Now, how do I do this? Okay, so there are many different types of software you can use, and the two that I use are Hubstaff and Google Drive. Now, Hub Staff lets me see snapshots of their screen and measures their keyboard strokes and mouse movements, and Google Drive is where I can place my weekly tasks for my team to get done. Now, they can also put how long it takes for them to complete those tasks, and you can base that. So what you can do is if you've had experience in those tasks, you can gauge how long it's taking them to do it based on your own experience. Now, again, this takes a small amount of time at the beginning, but this is what you establish at the very beginning that makes them your team totally independent down the track. Now, a bonus for us is you put a supervisor to grow and mentor them. Now, this is what we offer whenever you look at employing a VA through me. Okay, wink, wink. Okay, so that's it. So those are the key elements. And if you make sure you implement these key areas at the very beginning, you'll have an airtight method that will help getting your outsourcers to perform. Okay, great. Okay, so now in the next video, I'm going to discuss an interesting topic. I'm going to discuss how much you should pay a VA and or outsourcer. Now, this is going to be a really interesting question to answer because prices totally vary, and we're going to discuss the concept of getting what you pay for. Now, if you have a question that you'd like me to answer around outsourcing, make sure you get in contact with me because I would love to hear from you. Okay, great. As always, this is David Judge talking outsourcing and showing businesses how they can get more done, keep their costs down, and enjoy their life.